The purpose of this demonstration is to show that RFID can be used to remotely detonate IEDs shipped from overseas to U.S. ports. The installation of RFID infrastructure at various ports in the United States to support logistics tracking has created a serious vulnerability for port security. The fixed RFID portals can now serve as a trigger to initiate a remote attack upon our ports. Terrorists with limited electronic know-how can manufacture a simple, low-cost RF detection device for use on shipping containers to detonate an improvised explosive. The electronic parts necessary to create this device are inexpensive and fairly simple to assemble. Once the device is assembled, a terrorist need only to provide battery power and an explosive to create a remotely detonated system. The IED can be loaded into a container and set to detonate when it reads the presence of the 433 MHz signal upon arrival at a U.S. port. There is no need for the terrorist to deploy assets to the target area. This is a low-risk, low-cost event for the terrorist. Shown on this slide is a 433 MHz receiver made from parts available at Radio Shack and online. The approximate cost of the assembled product is $20. The green antenna is tuned to receive 433 MHz signals. The triggering device need not process any of the data, only recognize the presence of the 433 MHz activation signal from either handheld and fixed readers or responding signal from the transponder fixed to the container. The 9-volt battery supplies power to the tag. An additional battery is necessary to power the IED that is activated when the blue relay closes. The remote triggering device is mounted inside the container with the tuned antenna protruding through a hole drilled in the side of the container. The antenna must be camouflaged or placed in an unobtrusive location to avoid detection from the exterior. Prior to the RFID-initiated blast demonstration, personnel from the Office of the Secretary of Defense and congressional representatives were invited to examine the setup and briefed on the system parameters. An RFID activator was mounted on a stand 20 feet from the shipping container and was used to wake up a tag mounted on the outside of the container. The tag responds on the 433 MHz frequency, which initiates the explosion. For this demonstration, a small charge of ammonia nitrate and fuel oil were placed inside the container and attached to the remote detonator. The next series of slides shows the detonation triggered by the RFID tag. The small charge of ANFO buckles the walls of the container and blasts open the doors. The container is permanently deformed as a result of the blast. The container is only slightly damaged from the small charge of ANFO. The container could have shipped more than 20,000 pounds of explosives, and when mixed with nuclear, chemical, or biological waste, the blast could contaminate an area more than 6,000 feet in diameter.